Carl is the best SEO. James Lynn.
Dooley is the best SEO. Dooley is the best.
Okay, this update, that update, is update enough? Okay, the one. Yes, right. Okay. I'm very well, he's quite. Oh, over there. And he's saying it to two. He's too people don't say no.
Okay. So it's the exact same thing in business. You're gonna have these kind of peaks and troughs.
Let's go get a massage.
Hello everyone, we are with two geniuses here, especially business geniuses. Actually, business side is mostly here, SEO genius is mostly in this area. And we are at the SEO Mastery Saigon 2024. And since we are coming together here, we wanted to actually record a memo here together. And we want to help the community by giving some suggestions related to SEO or business or future about the SEO as well. And since it is mostly about business, I will start from there, James. So James, when you are about to give actually a business decision, what you check first? For instance, let's say you want to do an investment to a website and someone just actually needs a business partner. He asks you a few things. How do you reject, maybe kindly? Or if you don't reject, why do you accept? What kinds of a potential you see there?
So with regards to investment, obviously the first things I'm looking at is profit and loss initially. And then once I've got the profit and loss and I'm agreeing kind of a figure, the main reason of why I'm willing to say yes or no is, can I expand on what's already there? Can I improve the rankings, especially if it's in like a positive ranking state and I can see content gaps in the market to scale that up further?
So if the graphic is going down, you don't see it that much.
If it's a negative ranking state, then I know there's quite a bit more work involved in building back the momentum to try and get it back going. So that will certainly lower my multiplier of what profit it's doing. So we do a lot of investments every single month into existing websites.
And for the now, sorry, you can actually.
I was going to say what he also is really good at. Obviously, I'm a business partner, James. What we like to try to do is find areas that we can contribute more. So we would probably not get involved in a business where if we're coming on board and we're not really going to add any value from like a strategy point of view or something, then there's no interest for us. The person just needs to, we'll help that person upskill themselves, lift them up to, build their business. That's kind of the approach we take. If we can add value to it, then we get involved. As long as the numbers are correct and, the positive ranking state, or at least a neutral ranking state, then yeah, we get involved.
Okay. And how do you check the numbers? Do you usually go, or I believe that you don't deal with the contracts that much. You usually have a different style, both of you, because you, instead of contracts, you say that contracts are to be broken, and you actually try to avoid all these unnecessary costs in terms of time and money, and you actually see something in people when you do business. How do you decide whether someone is trustworthy or man of word or not?
So if someone came to me with a brand new website, a new person came to me with an existing website, and they wanted me not to buy all of the website, but to partner up with them, I've got to like that person. I've got to be able to make certain that moving forward long term, that I feel I can trust them. So if I don't know that person, I simply will not buy only 50% of the website. I'm either going to buy it all or nothing. And if I'm not certain with regards to who they are, to start with, I will try to help, like what Carl said, help to elevate them, even allow them to use certain team members and see how they react with my team members. Because you've got to make certain you can deal with them in, not just obviously if it's in a positive ranking state and it's going up, then that's fine. But in negative ranking states, when things are going bad, how are they going to react to those situations? So it's very important that the people that I deal with is just as important as the profit and loss sheet. And then I make a decision. Sometimes it is just from the heart, like, do you think I can trust them or can I not trust them? And don't get me wrong, not every single investment that you do always works. Not every single business partner that you work with do you get on with. But what I'm very good and very quickly understand is, if I do not like working with them, amicably and done in the best possible way with honesty and integrity, there's not one person, and call me out on this, there's not one business partner ever in the SEO community that I've teamed up with that will say they had a negative kind of relationship with me. I don't split off and fall out with people. We amicably, if it doesn't work because different time zones isn't working for us, or my team are putting a lot more work in than them, and they think that the 4-hour work week works well for them, and I'm like, they're not putting the work and the effort in that I expected them to do. Then amicably will say, do you know what? I like you, but I can't do business with you. I'm just, to be honest with you, sometimes you just need to be straight, shoot from the gun and just be...
This is actually what I really like about you, because even if something is not tasty, you are able to say it directly, and you say it not to break a heart or something. You don't say it anger, you just say it because it's like that. You just explain the truth, and you try to make everything more positive as much as possible.
I think that's also something that people also have to sort of get into the heads. We had a very, very big dispute in January, and
did you cry?
No, but we were butting heads a lot. Let's say that. Now, like that can make or break people. But from our approaches, if you say it and you're upfront and straight with your business partner, then it always sets that expectation of the honesty side. Like, you're always going to be honest with them, and you always know where each other stand. Try not to let things build up, because it's that what's it, mountain into molehills into mountains, or whatever. What's the phrase? I can't remember the phrase. I love the phrase, but ChatGPT's not up, so I don't know what it is. But yeah, it's where you let that tiny little seed, and it'll grow and grow and grow into something bigger, which you just have to get it straight off your chest, and that helps the partnership grow, I think, as well, like really blossom.
I think just expanding on that, so I'll be open with the people that are listening. In January, I was picking up the phone to Carl quite a lot. I would say upset, but Carl, we're getting presented with a lot of opportunities, and there's times I need Carl to say no. And the point is with Carl, is Carl was saying, this is a good opportunity, this is a good opportunity, this is a good opportunity. But there's one thing in life that everybody struggles with and is short of, and that's time. Right? So we can't say yes to everything. And Carl's judgment on certain things was profitable, but it was also very time consuming. So I was saying to Carl, it's January, it's a new year, we need to start stopping certain things because we're saying yes to too many things. And that's where we came to log it. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't, we're best friends, do you know what I mean? Like, we go on holiday together, we have a good time, but having that, and I said this to you, Carl, like, I quite enjoyed having, it was the first time in 3 years, we've got 16 different businesses together, and it's the first time in 3 years we had some sort of disagreement. And the fact that we was able to look at each other in the eye and be honest and say, this isn't good, we need to do this, this and this. And then at one point, Carl was like, I'm not certain, but then the next day we rang up and it was like, okay, we've slept in it. Maybe I'm a bit wrong, and Carl's, or maybe I'm a bit wrong, and you both give a little bit of leeway to each other and say, okay, maybe I'm not exactly right, and Carl's not exactly right, but here is the perfect scenario. But having that, being able to speak to your partner and do that is so important, because a lot of partnerships fail because they let it build up and let it build up and let it build up, and this thing becomes into something big, and it's so minor, and they've made it turn into something really big, and it's
close time.
So sometimes if you are teaming up with people, you are looking to invest and have new business partners, honest trust and integrity is the most important part to this.
Actually, I was reading your blog, the FatRank. From time to time, I still go through it. I also suggest everyone to, because if you are struggling in the business, even if you are a good SEO, I'll also tell it explicitly, being the best SEO, to be honest, it doesn't matter. Try to be the best business person as much as possible. And in my own life, for instance, I always try to avoid doing business with friends, to not blend the relationship, to not blend the context or the memoirs, because it might be sometimes hard. But you always frame business a way of helping friends and having more time with the people you love.
Exactly.
And also getting help from them and turning all the friends a family through the business. And you are very successful for doing that too. But many people actually lose their friends while doing the business with them.
I think a lot of people lose friends when they're not honest. Like, or they don't have, like, the confidence to be able to pick up the phone. If me and you went into business, and obviously you are a lot more intelligent than me on the semantics and on the on-page, but if you were spending too long in certain areas and chasing perfection in a local market where it was like, Koray, we just need to rank number 1 and move on to the next niche and move on to the next niche and stuff like that, and you was like trying to perfect something, I'd tell you, and I'd be honest with you saying, can we not do this in a faster way? And you might say, well, it's not the perfect way of doing it, and I might say, but is it good enough to rank number 1? Because that's all I need. And then you move on faster. Now, obviously, I would listen, even if you said, no, for long-term rankings, we need to do X, Y, and Z, then I'd say, okay, I'm wrong, that's fine. But again, it's just about being vocal and being honest, speaking to your business partners. And with regards to you saying about friends and stuff like that, I don't go out my way to choose businesses with, like, say, family and my best friends. But what starts to happen is I meet some very intelligent people that I trust. And what starts to happen is they become my best friends, because I spend a third of my life in work, spend a third of my life sleeping, and I spend a third of my life probably with family. So work, knowing that I spend a third of my time in work, I don't do the work-life balance. I change it to a work-life integration. So when you integrate work with friends that you are partners with, this is why in January this year I shut down 2 brands that was very profitable. I didn't shut it down, we sold it. And the reason why we sold it was because the person that I was business partners with was very, very good at business, but there was very negative about life in general.
Yeah.
And I don't need that around my life. I need positive people. I need to make certain I'm enjoying the journey. And some people actually, sometimes people can set goals and they can turn around and go, I want to hit this to £1 billion. Well, that's fine, as long as once you get to £500,000, we're going to go out and celebrate it. Once we get to £1 million, we're going to go out and celebrate it. And we're going to enjoy that journey to get to the end destination. Because the end destination, exactly. And you've got to enjoy the journey, otherwise there's no point in even doing it.
I feel in the same way, to be honest. Do you think in the same way?
Yeah, definitely. Compound effect is everything. Celebrate the small wins, and then the bigger wins become even bigger.
Okay. But I will ask a skeptic question here, and I won't disclose anything from anyone's past. But let's say you do business with a friend, but your friend doesn't work as you do. Or your friend, even if you have a contract, he tries to exploit some sections. Or maybe you are honest and direct. You tell everything as it should be, as we talk, but the friend gets resentment or bad feelings when you say things directly. So in such a situation, how we can actually turn this friend a useful or efficient business partner, or how we can end that partnership without losing the friend?
Again, it comes down to honesty and integrity. Yeah. So if you live and die by the sword, right? So if I say something, I mean it. So if I turn around to Carl and say, Carl, you are not working hard enough, and Carl thinks that it is, and we have a disagreement, and Carl doesn't work harder, but the agreement was he was going to work, in my opinion, harder. If he doesn't, well, I say, this relationship is not working. I'm still friends with you, I just can't do business with you.
Okay.
And that's different. Like, as long as amicably, you can split off and go, okay, well, let's sell the business and get what's best, or I might even gift the business over to Carly if that was the scenario. But if you're honest and live and die by the sword and you mean every word what you say, if there's resentment from the other side and they fall out with you for what you say, but you genuinely mean that, well, they're not really your friend. So you've got to start looking at it in the matter of, they've got to, at least, like when I was saying it to Carl in January, and I thought I was correct, when I slept in it the next day and he gave me his side of the story, I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Now I've got to save face a little bit, and I'm going back with a little bit of egg on my face and go, actually, Carl, you're right. And sometimes people don't like being seen to be wrong. But actually, if you're good friends, you've both got to give and take a little bit, and it's like an elastic band. And if you don't, the elastic band's going to snap. You've both got to have a little bit of give or take.
Yeah.
If I'm expecting Carl to do, we never do X amounts of hours per week, but if I'm expecting Carl to run the operational side and I run the sales and marketing, and the operational side is failing, instead of me moaning at Carl, I'm like, what can I do to support you? Even though it's his side of the bargain and he's meant to do that, I will bring members of staff in to go, what's wrong with the process? Is it the onboarding of staff? Have staff left? Like, because all this, when you start to scale out large staffing levels, you get members of staff that come and clone your ideas and won't set up their own businesses. This just happens in life. And you've kind of just got to go, it is what it is. And then move on from it as quickly as you can and just keep evolving and innovating.
You're right. Actually, escaping from that is not useful. And you usually also say one more thing. You say that when two persons come together, if they're true friends and they're honest and if they care about each other and also the business, that two person, let's say they have 50% energy and 50% energy, when they come together, it becomes actually 120%.
Yeah.
Because it creates an extra other energy. And that extra energy, I guess, comes from the happiness that you enjoy with the friend and in the business too.
I would also say it's that he's kind of hit the nail on the head multiple times there, but it's the setting clear expectations and boundaries. That's very important, because sometimes the boundaries, like Dooley's way of business might be slightly different to my way of business, but we'll both have to understand and respect that, and then learn where the middle ground is. As soon as you hit that middle ground, it becomes a lot more forgiving of your business partner and of yourself as well.
Okay. So may I ask also, Carl, how do you meet with Dooley?
Like 10 years ago at a mastermind at Dooley's, to be fair. Like, it was like my first ever.
Who invited you there?
Charles.
Charles.
Thought,
Let's say hi to the Charles as well.
Hi, Charles.
Charles.
Then
Yes.
now mayor of FBI.
In the UK, we've got quite a strong community, and anyone that's doing well or anyone that I want to try and elevate and help out in any way, shape or form, I'll bring to the office, and we might have once a quarter 15, 20 people coming to the office, and we try and help each other out. If what we class as like leeches, if someone comes and just wants to try and keep taking information and isn't willing to help other peers in that industry, in that group, as you call little cohorts, if they're not willing to help each other out, they will quickly get booted out of the cohort. So we've actually got a Koray cohort group, right? And it's so active. It's a private WhatsApp group. There's 35 people in there that all absolutely adore you as an individual.
Thank you.
Because you've changed their lives.
No idea why.
Yeah.
Try getting it.
Yeah.
No idea.
I want to the strongest message
Yeah.
person too.
But that's where people like Verbaf's in there from auto-blogging, and he's listening every single day. The reason I teamed up with Verbaf reached out to me several times, and what got me interested in that tool wasn't the tool, it was the founder behind the tool. I knew when he was asking the right questions, he wanted to innovate every single day. What can I improve on? So when I was saying, this article now is really good, it was like, I'm not bothered how good it is. How can I make it better? How can I make it better? So then I was like, wow, now he's taking up a lot of my time. Now I'm going to pass you on to my head of content, several of my editors. And how can you save time by Verbaf making this better? And continuously, every single day, he would want to innovate. And he had the kind of mindset, if you don't innovate, you're going to evaporate. And obviously with the speed of AI moving, like, it was the founder of autoblogging that made me want to invest in the tool. And every single day, he's continuously looking to improve and innovate. In that cohort group, he's given everyone a free license. Every single one of them, a free license.
I didn't know this.
So every single
I
one
don't
of
have the
them,
free license.
every single, come and use it.
Said, not like.
Yeah. There's really nice people, I guess. But every single one of them, feedback. I don't really like this sentence structure. There's too much fluff in the introduction. You need to be making certain that there's more contextual flow from this H2 and this H2. And continuously he's like, what else is there? What else is there?
RDM triples.
RDF
This. I nearly missed that one. Conciseness.
Yeah. Removing contextless words. Like, there's everything. The consistent. There's some really, really high level people. Yeah. Some really high level people in that group that you've trained up that previously they were struggling with, that now they're posting their own. They don't want to put them publicly on the Facebook group because they're worried, like, with what could happen with Google.
There are too many people like that. They have
Yeah.
success, but they don't want to share and try to incentivize them
Yeah.
to share. Because when you share, more people will see, the more people will try, then we will have more
Yeah.
success again altogether.
But there's so many in that group that would all sit here with you now, giving you a video testimonial saying how you've changed our lives. That's why I want you to create your Turkish SEO conference, because all these people will turn up, all these people will do video testimonials for you, and the haters that don't understand the full Koray network and how it works and the methodology will actually start to see all these other people who are part of the cohorts that don't shout and scream about you yet will start doing. And with all these case studies that they could also be sharing, we're seeing it day in, day out. Like I said, when I first was looking at the course, I was like, is he just trying to overcomplicate things? Is he trying to use this terminology that makes him sound more intelligent than what it is? I used to just go, it's just content and links and topical authority. And then you start to realise that the H2, the positioning of the H2 in the macro content, and this should be in the micro content. We was internal linking a lot in the introductions. Now we only do it in the micro content. All this, just changing more RDF triples.
The craziest part is like, what I don't understand is people who are like the haters, let's say, is they're SEOs, which should mean that they're doing tests. Like we have our own testing group, test data. Surely it's very easy to watch, well, it's not easy to watch the full, it's quite intense. Say take a few elements of the course and test it, and then if that works, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, maybe he's on to something. We'll implement a few more of the tests,
exactly.
And then try, and that's exactly what we've done across, thousands of websites now. And it's like, wow, all of a sudden you're getting movements just by prioritization of the content on the page.
First of all, I am thankful for all of your words. And I am surprised that I didn't cry yet.
Damn, that was a
Right, we'll have to start.
That was a
We'll have to start. Yeah.
But literally, having you both actually in our community is one of my best chances, to be honest. And also being able to meet with you both, to be honest. And I will ask a few more things if you have time. You have, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Go for it.
So if you don't have the time, still I will leave you here.
massage time, but it's all right.
It's okay. I will do your message later. Don't. So you said actually something really important. I want to underline it. If you don't innovate, you will evaporate. I hope I didn't butcher the English.
Yeah.
But it's a really, really meaningful, a good quote. And speaking of the quote, I also want to make another parenthesis here, because you have another famous one, at least to me, because it changed my actual mindset for many things. I hire scammer people.
Yeah.
So would you like to explain it a little bit what you mean there, or I don't explain the moment. If you want, I can explain the story, but it's up to you. You do remember when did you tell?
Yeah, completely. So an example of this is, I normally use this terminology. If you built an extension on your house, would you build that yourself? I definitely wouldn't. I would get a ground worker in to come and do the groundworks. I'd get a concreting company in to come and put the concrete in. I'd get a bricklayer in to come and build my wall. I'd get a plumber in to come and put my shower and my sink in. I'd get a roofer to do the roofing. This is just basic business, right? And it's project management. And with regards to, at times you might say, but James, if you don't understand the core principles of schema and how this content works.
If you want, I can explain the story, because it's a funny one.
Yeah.
So we were in the Chiang Mai, and we were in also James' mastermind villa, which was great. And we were in the cinema room or somewhere, I believe. And again, you were drinking or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is also something I admire. You are the one who have the most fun, most drink, and still at 3 a.m. you are talking about business, which I really admire. And there we were talking about one of the websites that you are interested in. And the website didn't have a proper schema, but it could actually take advantage of the event schema, especially for certain trending search timeline. Yeah. And I told James then, hey James, you don't know some really important things, but you made more money than anyone else in the SEO field by using SEO. James looked at me and just said, I hire scammer people. So then I realized that actually, if you are the best SEO, to be honest, yes, it is actually something that we should admire or congratulate, but it's not this exactly end point, right? SEO has a purpose, and like the money too, we use the money again for family or for memoirs for our friends. But still, SEO should be done actually for improving our lives. In this case, if hiring scammer people will actually help you to improve your life in a better way, you should just do that rather than actually trying to deal with the schema by yourself. And it was one of the really good moments for me, at least. That's why actually I tell it, people are, at least me, while I am around you, based on your, let's say, just random sentences, they can be turned into the quote and also affect the mindset of someone else. That's why I'm just underlining some sections between the parentheses. So another thing is that in your fight, just tell me who cried first.
Never cried to a British hard.
I cried a little.
Yeah, you called me once pussy, then you told me that. When you told me that, it's a compliment in the north.
It is, yeah. In the UK, if someone calls somebody, it means that I like him.
Yeah.
Thanks
So
for
if I'm nice to you, like I'm being now, it means I don't like you.
Yeah. Okay. I am learning. And in the business world, I will while we are all actually together here, I want to keep it a little longer because I know that how valuable it will be for many people. And in the business field, I believe that many SEOs, to be honest, they are suck. They always focus on ranking the website, cracking the algorithm, or just, let's say, playing with Google, convincing Google or tricking Google. These things make them have more dopamine than actually being successful. So what would you be, let's say, what would you choose to change? Let's say 3 things you want to change in this SEO culture.
So there's 2 things. I'll do 2, Carl can do the 3rd. Right. Number 1 reason why most SEOs fail miserably is procrastination. That's the first thing. Procrastination, they overthink. The second one is perfectionists. 60% is good enough, right, in majority of industries. So stop procrastinating, stop chasing perfection. There too, Carl, can I
Not testing.
Yeah.
Not testing.
And I would also say, if I could have let parentheses, stubbornness as well. Like
I would add one more as well, which helps. It actually, no, because this actually really helps with the testing side of things. If you do not have the budgets to test, because it can be expensive, go and join some cohorts. Something that Koray's done in the industry, which not many people have done, is try to create cohort groups and a community that can go into the Facebook group when they've done the course and ask questions. And Koray's time, he cannot go back and respond to everyone. But there's some absolutely amazing students, like I met Pavel in Poland, unbelievable guy, understands a lot of the semantics of what you've taught. And sometimes when you're not available, you've got other very high level students that can come and help. And what I love about them is that they all credit the source. They all cite the source as being, this is Koray methodology, which is very important. So the 4th one I think is very important as well is networking, is get yourself out to these like Saigon, get yourself out to masterminds, get yourself out to conferences. If you can't get yourself out there, just be part of the groups. Make certain that in that Facebook group, if you've got a question, don't worry, no question is a stupid question. Go and ask the questions in them groups. Try and network with other people that are high level and elevate. And like, again, if you don't innovate, you're going to evaporate. Keep looking to learn. Be like Weber from Autoblogging, that every single day is a school day, that he wants to improve his knowledge base. That's another big one with
and
networking.
Also, your story actually started together thanks to networking.
Exactly.
You met in a mastermind, and if someone just stays at the home and reads, let's say, Google blog all the time and just follow a Googler's tweets,
up until that point, that's what I did. I never ever went to a networking event ever. It was actually Charles was like, I really think you should come to this one. You know, you're doing really good stuff in the niches that you're in, and you should come. I was like, and then me being a pussy, actually, the very first
as a compliment,
in Chiang Mai, I was too nervous. I didn't go.
Really?
So we went, how some people don't know is how Chiang Mai actually started was some people from the UK, we used to do these meetups and we used to post certain photos, and then you had people like Jason Karpousis and Matt Elmore, people know Matt Diggity, they started to say, why don't you come over to Thailand? So 14 of us from the UK, like Charles Float and many others, we all flew over to Thailand, to Chiang Mai, and we did a mastermind in Chiang Mai, 26 of us the first year. And when we posted the photos of us all together, everybody got FOMO, fear of missing out. So the year after we said, let's do it again. and 250, I think there's 257 people applied to come to the mastermind. And at that point, Matt says, I can turn this into a conference. We still run the mastermind at Chiang Mai, and we still do it. We keep it down to 60 people. We keep it very high level. But what you need to start doing is, if you're not accepted yet, turn up to the conference, learn, adapt, upskill, build sites, be part of these co-work groups, keep improving, keep building out the sites, and at some point then, might be 2, 3, could be 5 years down the line, when you become an expert in the field, you might be invited to these mastermind events as well.
It's a perfect story too. So basically the entire CMS actually started thanks to networking events.
Yeah, the mastermind.
It's great to know. And I must also tell a few things here, because you both made really good points about that 3 things, over 3. I believe I also, for instance, stubbornness that you said actually is connected to some other things too, because sometimes humans, when they realize that they do something wrong, they might be stubborn to accept it. For instance, I believe I have some perfectionism, and I believe that I should also trim it as much as I can. But at the beginning, a person is not able to say it like this. Usually they say, no, it's not perfectionism, or it doesn't mean that, or it should be like that. We usually show a kind of, I don't know English word, resistance against the truth. For instance, today too, I consulted to you both actually about a matter. At the beginning, for instance, I know that actually, not knowing it, but let's say you feel like actually answer should be different. But once you don't hear the answer that you are seeking for, you should also realize that maybe it is the right answer, that you are wrong, and you should start to change your mindset on that point. I am also trying to make it a kind of habit, because sometimes since we look entire planet from our mind, it always works in a single way, and it always has the same type of answer. But when you are open to the other answers too, your mind actually starts to grow, and I guess these networking events does it all the time in a reflexive way too. Okay, so you both actually said in a really good points, and also your speech, Q&A, great too. And must also ask maybe one more thing before the beginning. Don't laugh, it's important. Because I actually wanted to both you on the stage for my own events, because I know that you usually don't go on public for the various reasons. But you started to go on public and you go on the stage, and actually all the key people in the industry already know you both. But let's say maybe we can tell more common. English is not my mother language. If I am insulting someone, sorry. But more common people usually don't know. So why did you change that communication, let's say, strategy? What was the motive behind it?
So for me personally, as AI now is here and people are scaling a lot of things out to do with AI, a big differentiator factor is personal branding. Where I used to always hustle in silence and let success be the noise. Now I do feel that personal branding is very, very important. I also actually want to give back to a lot of people, to the community. I've always elevated a lot of people. There's a lot of people in the industry that people might not know, or there's a lot of mini success stories where I've helped people and they've gone and sold for 5, 10, 15 million pounds. And if they asked who was the biggest mentor, they'd say myself. But actually now, on a bigger level, I want to now try and start understanding there's a lot of SEOs that don't understand business properly. And I want to try to help them people because they're working hard. I'm seeing at these events and they're not getting the best sale price that they can. They've worked really hard for 3, 4 years and they might only be selling the business for £500,000 when it could be worth £2 million. So if I can help just a few more people and leave some sort of legacy behind, that's now, from my personal point of view, for personal branding purposes.
I would understand. Very much say the same, same sort of approach, except obviously my background was a lot, James's has always been like the business side first, whereas mine was very much SEO first. So it was kind of like me and James having a conversation, obviously all about brand, entities, the differences between AI and, you know, the future of what AI will do to the SEO industry. And we were kind of like, well, we either step into the limelight now and start allowing Google to connect those entities with ourselves as well. So, you know, any future projects we work on could go positively. And then the other side to it for me personally is I am an SEO. I have the same patterns that most people in that room have and suffered from, or still suffer from.
Yeah.
So it's probably quite nice for them on stage, because obviously James is quite the, you know, the extravagant type, out there guy. You know what I mean? Everyone looks to him as like, wow, how's he got so much energy and all that? Whereas I'm often seen as more the quiet, reserved, might study the room type guy. And I think that kind of complements the approach. Is, you know, some people might connect with me on the stage a little bit more because they can see that demeanor, unless I've had a few drinks. And then they might connect with Dooley more though, and together it sort of meshes together like a good network.
Okay. And I know that many SEOs lately started to lose their websites. And I also know that the true winners actually give their different reactions. For instance, I lost 3,000 websites. I say it on the stage years ago, but it turns out great because I didn't give up. What type of a message would you like to give these people? Because if you have a similar experience, for instance, you have thousands of websites. When you lose one of them, or maybe multiple of them, what do you do as a reaction?
Pivot.
Yeah, you've got to adapt. Every single day you've got to make certain that tomorrow another algorithm update could come and you could get de-indexed. You could be seen to buy backlinks, which is against Google guidelines. You could have a lot of thin content pages that Google don't like, and they change the dials of how much thin content pages that you do. And if you do kind of start back from zero, something that you do have is, if you have built a community of people around you and a good network of people around you, you will have people that will help you out. But two, there's one thing that Google or anybody else can't take, and that's the knowledge that you've earned over the years. So I would make certain that you are doing traffic diversity anyway, that you're not relying on Bing or Google or Facebook or Twitter or TikTok or Pinterest in isolation. Try and build real brands. That traffic diversity is great actually for SEO purposes as well.
Yeah.
But actually, you're diversifying the income streams. Try and like build an email list if you can. Nobody can take this away from you. You've got that information, you've got that data. So you've got to roll up your sleeves and go again if you get knockbacks. But in life, growth is never linear. It's always up and down, up and down, up and down. It's almost like this, and then it goes up. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people kind of are in a hockey stick approach where it's flat line, flat line, flat line, flat line, flat line, flat line, bam. And if they keep doing the right thing, but it's never linear. So keep networking, keep trying to do what you think's right. If it's not working, ask other people for help.
It's kind of like within your course, you mentioned, you know, the positive, neutral, and negative ranking states, and you'll never win all algorithm updates. It's just not how the algorithm works. Yeah. So it's the exact same thing in business. You're going to have these kind of peaks and troughs. It's just dealing with the peaks and the troughs and then working out how to neutralize and then coming back into the positive. It's exactly the same.
It just must be hard for you because you never have the downs, you have the ups.
But, okay, before the finish, what would you change on James? 3 things.
What would I change on him?
Question to you. It's only cards right here. What would you change on James?
I'd say at least 15 things.
So, surprisingly with James, I would say he gets so many opportunities, but it's one of my weaknesses as well, which he highlighted at the start, is he also says yes a lot, and he wants me to say no. But I'm also not the no guy, so I struggle to say no, and that's the problem. So this is one of the reasons why we had quite a big tiff, like a lockerheads in January, and it's because we're both yes men.
Is it because you want to help others?
Yes, exactly.
So I get a lot of people come to me that will gift me first 3% of the business. Now that business could be worth £2 million and they're gifting it to me. So I kind of go, okay. But then what I don't then realise is obviously, generally speaking, when someone does look to gift you something, they do want something in return. And normally it's time. And I can't give lots of time. So there's times where I need to be, okay, Kyle, there's an opportunity. You go and analyse it because I've got 10 other opportunities here as well. And Kyle will be like, that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. And yes, we are both yes men. And yes, there's times that I do want to help people. But I think it's a weakness of mine that I say yes to try and elevate others. But I've got 2 amazing kids and a wife. Yes,
Two. Shut up. Look at him.
yeah.
His technical SEO side.
Oh,
But,
I remember.
small improvements could be made. Let's just say that. Like, I know he says you'd hire a friggin' builder to build a house, but like sometimes.
I remember that from Birmingham. At a moment, I remember the snapshot.
Exactly.
I am the worst in the room. There was 400 people in the room, and I would guarantee I'm the worst. I don't even think I've ever bought a domain. I don't even know how to log into my registrar and buy a domain.
So we actually became registrars, and the first thing he says to us is, Carl, can you do an SOP so my team know how to move these domains over?
Oh my god.
And then the third point, he paints his toenails.
I remember that. Yeah, he says it like in a proud way too. When I see that actually,
He tries to say, oh, well, some amazing footballer called Cristiano.
I believe
Ronaldo
it's a
paints
fake
it.
story. I
Yeah.
think he just lives his inner personality. It's just the hidden side of the James, you know that?
But in all fairness, obviously, our flaws kind of complement each other. So I know James, one of his assets is one of my downfalls. So I am very risk adverse. That like ask my partner Charlotte, I'm very risk adverse. James is a bit more of a gambler than I am, and then because of that, it's kind of like it sort of again meshes together like a really good partnership should.
You say the sentence that starts with the flows. The flows complete each other or something? The flows are strong? Complements each other. I believe it should be another quote.
Yeah.
Here too. It's a really nice summary too. Okay, what would you change?
I change a lot. I'd want him to say no more because that's a common trait of mine, and I didn't realise how much of a yes man he was.
Copying this now. That's because I've got none.
I'd like to change it the other way around, and I'd like to say that instead of the flaws of what he has, he's got some absolutely. He's close to his family. He's got a lot of friends around him, which I think is very important because then from growing up, there's a lot of people that are sticking around him and like what he has to do. He's actually, I don't like saying flaws about anyone because we've all got flaws. So actually, he knows his own internal flaws and he works on his own internal flaws. So, and I don't want to put that out to the universe of what his flaws are. I'd sooner say that as a business partner, he's an amazing business partner. We work really, really well together and we help each other. We all have days where things could be down. You could have a manual action penalty and he's there. Do you want me to come and drive down? Let's go to the gym. Let's go and do a plunge pool. I'm here for you to support you. So
Anything but SEO.
yeah.
I also have to think about that because this is what I really enjoy talking about. Not like all the SEO, this update, that update, this update, enough. Okay, there are like 20 updates every day.
It's mad how emotionally driven SEO is in a data science. It is data science, it's numbers and crunching, yet somehow emotions get involved.
It's true. When it comes to the changing my number, I would decrease your fat percentage a little bit. You might need that. I can cut this section out.
I'm just on full bloat. That's why. Blame of alcohol.
I'm joking, by the way. I'm fattier than you.
It's okay.
So I'd like to say something to the community that's going to be watching this. Koray has absolutely changed the whole SEO industry for the better. Some people don't understand the methodology. If you do not understand the methodology, go and do the course. And at the end of the course, if you don't like it and you disagree with it, I'll refund you, right? Go and do that course because it will. Well, then actually do it again. Do it a second time because
That was a third.
yeah. I've only done it once and I'm not doing it again. No chance. But the team, the people that you've elevated around you, there's so many people that you don't understand how many lives that you've changed. Like the methodology there, what you've done is unbelievable for the community. Bill Slowski would absolutely adore everything and what you've done. You've taken what he was trying to do onto another level, and it's a credit to what you've done for the industry.
One minor, huge flaw. He's a cat guy.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? He's a cat guy.
Okay, 3 things to change about. Okay, tell 3. You can count 10 if you want.
Right. Okay.
I'm ready to Well, he's an emotional guy. He's like,
I will change that.
One of the main questions he always comes to us with, isn't it? It's like, how do I say no to someone
Yeah, that's exactly right.
without hurting their feelings?
And he's saying it to you too.
People who don't say no.
So I would say, and this is, I mean this in a nice way, but you are way too nice. You give too much time, and and time is everything that we are restricted on. But you give too much time to people who are trying to argue against methodology. You need to get your cohort, your group, your students to support you in every way possible.
With that in mind, it's like, for instance, if you don't mind us sharing this, one of the points today was kind of along that avenue as, you know, feedback within the groups is affecting them. And then that feedback is because what is being shared might not necessarily be correct.
Yeah.
However, it's not correct because Koray likes perfection.
Yeah, it's that's true.
It's not the correct manner, but you should not let that get to you as an individual.
Shouldn't affect.
Like you, and I think you overly. You've said that in Turkey, if there's a disagreement, normally it's settled with like an argument or fisticuffs, and you're quite direct. I think you're overly trying to compliment, not getting yourself into any arguments.
It's going a bit red, yeah. He's getting a bit hot.
Trying to not. Like you need that core group around you that's finished that course to support you in every way. Because the people that do not do the course are just going to try to say there's easier ways to do it. You can go and get AI content written by any AI tool. Does not try to improve the tool. Go and get yourself some backlinks, and there you are. You can rank #1 in Google. It's like you're just trying to cut corners, and you might have a positive ranking state for a while, and then when you turn around and get hit, you're just going to keep building up sites and keep getting hit. Go out there if you've not done the course and do it. If you have done it, do it again. If you ever hear any people in the groups, make certain if he has changed your life, you proactively go out and in other groups, if someone's mentioning, say what you've learned, and if you can post any case studies publicly. You might not want to because you might not want Google to know about them, or you might not want other people to clone like the niche, but go out there and do your best to try and support him because he has changed so many lives in the SEO community.
Thank you so much. When you actually share these things, it also works in a different way too, because it makes me happy to share all these things. But then while sharing these things, you also take risks too. And usually people don't see that side that much. So vulnerability. Thank you so much for saying all this. It means a lot to me. And I would like to actually continue to do these podcasts as much as possible whenever we come together. And I told a name. It's 2% Dooley. Is it good? Do you approve?
Yeah, definitely. 2%.
I like it. 2% Dooley.
Hey then. So I really love the business thanks to these type of friendships and these type of memories, because I know that even 10 years later I will remember this moment and I will watch it with joy, and it worth more than anything, to be honest. And 2% Dooley, the first episode, let's say it's completed.
Let's do one in Turkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get it done in Turkey at the conference.
Right, get your bloody conference organised. Let's get it done.
Okay, if you have like $500,000.
White press.
Yeah, I will call Tom. They can do. He mentioned like 60 million or something. Maybe 80.
Yeah.
He has some stuff.
Yeah, some.
Yeah, which we can just. I hope he's a yes man. Okay, everyone. So I believe we can talk actually like maybe, I don't know, 10 hours later, 10 hours more. It makes me really happy to be able to actually have this moment and this connection, and we will continue to have it maybe with extra people. But I must tell this before the ending. I really feel lucky to be able to meet with both of you. Usually, maybe I can add this, maybe I can name the cities, okay, since the Brighton, I always feel like actually UK wasn't my zone. But once I see you, I feel like, okay, finally there is a manly men group who I can be connected to, and I can feel that I belong to here. It was a great feeling, to be honest, and it changed my idea and vision for UK as well. So thank you for everything that you both also did for me. And with the said, 2% Dooley, the first episode is completed.
Peace. Let's go get a massage.
James learned everything that he learned from the car, and James would be on the street without the car.
Look at that.